What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man, and tonight I have a very special guest for you, the legendary Travis ORTMAYER.
Ciao, homie.
Welcome back to My Block's Strongest Man, where we bring strongman into the mainstream by discussing all of the latest strongman events in the greatest analytic detail that you'll find anywhere on YouTube. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to this channel. Make sure to comment below whether you agree or disagree with my videos. I love the engagement, and I respond to every single comment. Now on to today's topic. So, cool if we go back to sports talk?
Absolutely, man.
All right, man. So, I was just wondering, you competed at IFSA, you competed at World's Strongest Man. What do you think of that split? And, like, did the best not compete against the best? Kind of what are your thoughts around that whole thing?
So, a couple things. Ultimately, I think it was a good thing because while it was going on, for people who don't know, 2004, IFSA, International Federation of Strength Athletes, and World's Strongest Man, I guess IFSA provided the athletes for the TV show World's Strongest Man, and then they got in a little pissing match and, too many egos, whatever. They split. And most of the top athletes went with IFSA. Marius stayed with World's Strongest Man. So when you talk about Marius and his 5 titles, there's 2 of those with an asterisk because 2 of them were in 2005 or 7, which, I mean, most of the good guys were at IFSA. Zydrunas would have handed him his ass. Vasil would have handed him his ass. These guys would have beat Marius hands down. So Vasil Virastuk did in 2004. He kind of proved the point. But so anyway, we had that split. And of course, because there was that who's better, which one's got the better athletes, which one's the better federation. Well, that's like having a gas station open on one corner and then another gas station open up on the other corner, and you get a price war. They're trying to outdo each other. These guys were trying to outdo each other. They were paying good prize money. There were tons of contests. They were taking care of the athletes. It was really like trying to put out the absolute best they could. So the 3 years that they were split in 2005, 6, and 7, when the World Championships had split, it was great because it gave the athletes so much opportunity. It opened so many doors for so many guys to go out and be able to compete who may not have ever gotten the chance to do so. But just to kind of give you an idea, the difference in the caliber of athletes, and I hate to mention any names, but I'm going to. Like 2005 was a big year of the controversy. Which one's got the better athletes? Blah, blah, blah. Jesse Marundi took 2nd at World's Strongest Man. I took 10th at IFSA Worlds. I beat Jesse the entire year. I handed him his ass at every single contest we were at. I think we competed against each other 4 times. I beat him every single time.
Wow.
And I got 2nd at World's Strongest Man, and I got 10th at IFSA, and I was fucking getting my ass kicked. That's in the caliber, especially that year. But given a few years, the guys at World's Strongest Man, most notably of which, like Mark Felix and Terry Hollins, they really started to develop, and Dave Oslin, they really started to develop as athletes. And, by the time everything came back together in 2008, as a perfect example, Marius barely edged out Derek. So Derek was IFSA. Marius, of course, he was a stud. But Dave Oslin was 3rd. I can't remember who 4th place that year was, but I was 5th at World's Strongest Man. So it had kind of started to balance out. Those guys, because they were all really new when World's Strongest Man and IFSA split, after 3 years of kind of building up, they got really good. And, of course, Terry Hollins went on to be 3rd place a couple more times. A lot of the guys kind of they developed and matured as athletes, and it was really it became a really tough competition in 2008, and even more so in 2009 because Zydrunas had taken 2008 off and then really prepared for 2009. And, you know, so it was 2009, 2010 were probably two of the best lineups in the finals as far as the caliber of the athletes that were around the planet that year. Yeah, you know, it was unfortunate that IFSA fell apart the way they did. And I think, you know, hopefully with contests like World Ultimate Strongman and with the rumor about Fortissimus happening again, you know, we'll start to see that level rise again and the number of contests increase and the number of shows that athletes can do increase. Excuse me. But, you know, especially during that time, 2008, 2009, we also had Fortissimus. So we had Arnold, World's Strongest Man, Fortissimus, three massively, really awesome, cool shows that kind of buffered IFSA falling out in 2007. So 2010, 11, 12, you see this decline in the number of total shows that guys can do, that top caliber shows. And then when I got back into the sport, see, I stopped competing in 2012, and I came back 5 years later in 2017, and what I saw was that there were almost next to no American competitions. It has started to increase the last year, and this year is looking pretty good. There's a lot of American shows for pros to compete in anyway. But even the international level was kind of down. There was just there's some giants live, and then Champions League was doing their thing, but I didn't really see a whole lot of international shows doing much. Things started to pick back up, but then, of course, COVID hits, or the world situation, whatever you got to call it.
That's right.
That hit and screwed things up again. So I think we're on the positive swing now, especially with the shows in England being as big a deal as they are. You know, they really, that was the thing that probably changed the most from my time off to coming back, were these arena shows that they had in England filling 20,000 seats or whatever. You know, that was pretty cool.
I've heard the Giants live events in England are the best, albeit I heard it from Big Laws, but I think it might be true.
Yeah, fair enough. He told me, he's like, man, you got to get to one of these shows. You in particular would love the energy. You know, I always feed off the crowd. I have a good time with it. So yeah, I would love that. It actually worked before. You know, I won at Madison Square Garden 2008. You know, it was a big crowd in an arena like that. And yeah, it's wild. When you got all those people sitting there screaming at you, it gets loud because it's indoors. And that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, so that's near my territory. I'm in northern New Jersey, so MSG is awesome. I actually saw indoor tennis there. I got to see Andre Agassi play there, and like, really? It's not so big that like every seat is good, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome. But the other thing I was wondering about, kind of like different competitions, is in years where you competed both at World's Strongest Man and the Arnolds, you placed better at Arnolds. Was there something about that specific set of events that suited you better, or kind of what happened there?
You know, well, I mean, to be fair, I did 5 Arnolds. Well, the first year I got injured. I got my worst back injury to date. Herniated something, then screwed it up really bad 3 weeks later. Took me a year to get over that one. But 2009 and 10, I was third. Those events were pretty good for me. You know, they put the manhood stone in there, and Terry Todd put that in because of my breaking the 500-pound barrier back in 2005, where I loaded my 520-pound stone. He put the stone in the next year at the Arnold, actually, in 2007, actually. But I think it was a little bit of those events. World's Strongest Man, the first year I was there, I put a lot into the qualifiers, 2008. I burned through the qualifiers. I qualified before the last event, and you know, I'm ride off pure passion and adrenaline kind of person. So it's hard to keep going so many days. I'd never done that many days with that many events. And I think I just rode it a little bit too hard. Because I was a little burned out by the finals. In 2009, I would have placed better, but a month before the show, I was practicing single fingers, and I had one come down on my shoulder.
Oh.
I tried to do that, but I didn't know that I was too far along to let it come down. I had way too much weight behind me, and it busted my AC joint, so I wasn't able to train either deadlifts or farmer's walk very well. It really tugged on that bad, and if you watch the finals in 2009, I'm dead last on the farmers, but I'm sitting here with my left shoulder dragging the ground, basically, because I can't hold my damn arm up. So I think if I had been able to practice farmers, I probably would have ended up either third, maybe fourth that year. So I would have been right where I was with the Arnold. Okay. 2010, I ended up fifth because I broke my ankle. So I just had luck, I guess.
You did, damn! You had a lot of that.
Yeah, that sucked, man. I was in first place, tied for first, I think. I would have lost some points on the log, and that's when I broke my ankle. But all my best events were the next day. You know, I had a frame carry at Stones, had a car deadlift. You know, so that was a little heartbreaking.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you mentioned Stones, and, you know, as everyone knows, you are known as the Texas Stone Man for your multiple Atlas Stone records. Is it, in fact, your favorite event? I think you touched on it before and said yes. I'll give you a chance to elaborate.
You know, for years, it was my favorite event. I absolutely loved it. But then I think at some point it started to give me anxiety because I started to allow people's expectation to get in. And expectation is the root of anxiety, and it's the root of expectation is kind of the root of unhappiness, you know? So here I was expecting so much out of myself, and if I was anything less than that, I would be unhappy. And so I had huge expectations of myself on Stones, and every time I did them, it would be kind of a little bit of a letdown unless I won, which, you know, most of the time I won, but usually if I won, I still wasn't happy because I didn't do them as fast as I thought I could. So it became a little bit miserable. And, you know, that's kind of like classical conditioning in a way. You do something you love and you find a negative with it, you're going to stop loving whatever that is. And that's what I did to myself.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, throughout all of this, now that I'm thinking about it, I have this Travis out here that does all this stupid shit. And then the Travis back here sits back and takes notes on it. And, okay, yeah, we're going to see how this feels. And, oh, that sucks. Okay. But I'm going to take notes, and we're going to come back to this later. And, you know, so that was one of the things I took notes on. I noticed that the more I expected out of myself, the less I enjoyed the event. So I guess more of that advanced psychology shit.
Hell yeah.
Expectations. If I do Stones, you know, I did them with Wesley Claiborne a few weeks ago, I guess a couple months ago now. It was the first time I'd touched Stones, and I think I've done them one time since my shoulder surgery in 2019.
Wow.
And we did 300 to 458, something like that, and just burned through them. You know, I dropped the 458. I had some shitty tacky that was basically, it was so thin it was like syrup. And but I haven't put any tacky on it so long. I didn't know I was reaching for the wrong kind because I'd never seen this kind before. I just went on and went with it, and you know, I came back and got it. I still think I did them. I did the full set in like 25 or 26 seconds. You know, but Wesley got 18, which pissed me off because I know I can beat him on that.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I saw your other interview where you talked about most guys use way too much tacky, but
have I ever been close to another record in a different event?
Yeah,
I've actually got a lot of records in other events.
Tell me about them.
Well, the first year they had the keg toss at World's Strongest Man, these pony kegs, the short ones, 2008. The whole field had to do them, all 30 athletes. I was in the 5th group, and I was the last guy to go. So I was the last competitor of the entire day to go. I think the best time of the day was Tarmo Mitt at like 28:50, 28.5 seconds. I went out there, and I crushed it with 21 seconds. And since then, all those guys that do that little one hop technique, one hop and throw, that's mine. That was my technique.
Really?
They all stole it. Yeah. So I crushed that record. I tied the circus dumbbell record. The one at Worlds with 9 reps, it was like 210, 209, whatever it was, tied that record. I had the Arnold dumbbell record for a minute, and then Derek Poundstone broke it. I had the Axel world record for a minute, and then Derek Poundstone broke it. So, I've had all these records. I still think I have the heaviest side handle deadlift ever. Side handle car deadlift. It was Ode Haugen said he did some numbers on it. And it was like 1350.
Oof! Wow.
I did it for 3 reps.
Damn.
So nobody else in the contest got it. It was 0 for everybody, and I got 3 reps, but I was in 4th place going into that event. So it kind of saved the contest for me.
Yeah.
What other events I've had? I currently have the Champions League stone carry record.
Okay.
That's for, can't remember how far. Somewhere close to 100 meters. Let's see.
100 meters is crazy.
Sorry. Marius did 375 for like 120 meters.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, something like that. That guy's endurance was stupid. But I did the heavier stone, and so that beats it. I have a Guinness World Record on stones. That's a different one.
Oh, do you? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that in Milan. It was a TV show. Zydrunas was there as the recurring champion for, I think, 6 weeks. They did a different event. He won every week until that last week, and then I beat him. I took a perfect run. I can't think of all the other ones. I used to write them down. I think I got them written down somewhere, but I've had, I've got somewhere close to 15 or 20 stone records.
Wow. That's amazing.
First to break 500. I got height records. I got the heaviest run ever records. I got at the Arnold. I tied with Brian Shaw for 3 reps with, I think, 535, something like that. He likes to think he has that record by himself, but he does not. But I can't remember all of the other records that I had. I remember the axle. I remember the dumbbell. I remember those, but I know I've had a couple others that I just can't think of at the moment.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all those got broken, pretty shortly after. The side handle, I think, still stands. Maybe some of my stone records stand. I was the first person to do 500 pounds, so that one you can never take away. Nobody can break that record.
Yep.
I was going to be the first person to do 600, but I got that stone to my lap. I just couldn't get it in my lap. And I was in 2009. I haven't tried it really since then.
Just being able to budge something that big is unbelievable.
It's a 300-pound lead cannonball with a 4-inch shell of concrete around it.
Oh, is that what it is? Wow.
Yeah. It's nasty.
That's crazy. Why don't we wrap it up? Why don't you tell everybody how they can follow you? I don't know if you have sponsors you want to shout out. Anything you want to promote, feel free.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff on Instagram, Travis_ORTMAYER. That's probably where the easiest way to get a hold of me for coaching or anything like that. But yeah, I've got, Cerberus helping me out with equipment and stuff. And then Build Fast Formula which is a Chris Duffin, mad scientist Duffin brand. But their supplements, they're pretty awesome. They're pretty awesome. I enjoy them a lot. But yeah, other sponsors got Qi, makes the Qi Palm, that little handheld device that helped me with the scar tissue that was forming here. It also helps me get over all my injuries.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got a few people that are helping me out, and it's a tough sport. You can't really do it alone. So, for anybody watching this, if you go to chi.us or cerberusstrength.us or buildfastformula.com, and then check out their products, use their stuff. It's good. You can also get a little discount. Build Fast Formula, put in Travis O, Cerberus-strength.us, just put in TX Stoneman, get a little discount there. And it makes me look good, and it keeps them wanting to work with me, so I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, man. No, thanks for shouting all them out. I'll put all that info in the description below for everybody to check out. And again, Travis, thanks for taking all this an hour and 45 minutes here with you. I hope I didn't keep you up past your bedtime, brother.
Oh, man, you get me talking about strongman, it just keeps going. I got so much history, so many stories to tell about it. It's always fun to talk about it, man.
Yeah, all right, cool. So if you want to hang out a minute after I go off air, tell me if you want to cut anything. But okay. So the way that we say goodbye on this channel, Travis, ciao, homie.
Ciao.
So if you like this video and haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing using that button right there. And also stay tuned for some other videos that you might love blooping up right there. This one is the one that YouTube thinks that you will like the best, and this one is the one that I think you will like the best. As always, share this with everyone, and until next time, ciao, homie.